Come on, join us. It's the Empower Talk. Empower Show. The Empower Talk. The Empower Show.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Empower Talk podcast. We are Empower Talking today about good and bad days. All of us have them. We all have to circumvent, navigate, get beyond them, understand them, function in spite of them. And I think that it's wonderful when we understand the book that we've been studying, Finding Flow in Empty Places, that these things will happen. But what do we do with adversity? And what do we do when the tide turns? And what do we do when things come against us? There's a special skill and a special talent that we all need to be able to grasp. We all need to be able to comprehend as we try to overcome good and bad days. Well, the good days we don't have to overcome. The good days we ride. It's the bad days that we have to overcome. And sometimes just managing both experiences, both elements, both dichotomies is going to be an interesting thing to discuss. Let's Empower Talk that. Here's what Finding Flow in Empty Places teaches. Seldom do we understand what contributes to finding our flow. And often we completely miss what really prepares us for improvement. Sometimes I think we're lulled into thinking that every time we do something wonderful things happen. And yet what prepares us is quite the contrary. It's quite the opposite. It's oftentimes the things that we battle, the things that we have to face, the things that we have to wrestle with. Yes, what are you wrestling with? It's the things that you wrestle with that make you stronger. The things that you have to combat, the things that you really have to work hard to overcome. Some way, in a very strange way, they help you to strengthen, and they help you to build capacity. They help you to build understanding and patience. They help you to really become a greater individual, because it's not just about enjoying the good days. It's about being able to manage and still function in the bad days. And sometimes we don't always realize what actually prepares us, what actually gets us to a place where we can overcome, and to be productive, and to be progressive, and to be encouraged. It's a combination of what we're talking about today, good and bad days. So oftentimes we completely miss what prepares us. In fact, the things that we think dismiss us are the things that really prepare us. The things that we think really are negative in our favor are the things that we really have to pay attention to, because this is where the truth of who we are and what we're really truly made of, not just in the good times, but in the bad times. That's what really helps us to make sure that we are growing. It's what we're challenged by, is what we have to fight against, is what we have to push against, is what we have to push back, resist, ignore, and overcome. Other things that are really going to help us to be progressive and to achieve in good and bad days. Listen to this. Adjustments and disappointments are part of the journey. How about that? Adjustments and disappointments are part of the journey. We have to accept that the journey is going to be a combination of all kinds of variables. And I think appreciating that and accepting that is part of the challenge to getting us to a place where we can still count the bad days and the good days combined together as the reasons and as the things that strengthen us to be better. So adjustments and disappointments are part of the journey and are to be completely expected. If you're the kind of individual that just falls to pieces when something negative happens, or you have to rehearse or rewind, how did you get there, or you have to really go through a day or two before you can really come back to yourself to be progressive and to be attentive and to be happy and to be strengthened, we expect those things to happen, because that's just part of what life is. And so somehow I think we have to get to the place where we can say, and this is what we're Empower Talking today about, where we can say we are where we are. Oftentimes you spend too much time, I think, trying to dissect and evaluate how do we get here. And the energy that we use in looking back really wastes the kind of energy we need to settle us where we are and to move forward in a very deliberate way. And so we are where we are. Sometimes you ought to just practice saying that. We are where we are. I am where I am. If I knew what I knew now, I would have made different choices. But now I have to appreciate what good days do and what bad days do, and how the combination of both of these expressions and both of these experiences really help us to see ourselves in two different lights. We see ourselves in the light of day, which are the good days, and we see ourselves in the light of darkness, which are bad days. And how do you look that you can glow on a bad day, and you can rise on a bad day, and you can be victorious on a bad day? Because the bad days don't come, they do not come to necessarily deplete us. They come really to expose us and to illuminate what's really inside of us, so that we can be the progressive individual that we need to be. So we have to expect those things, really expect them. Expect things to go wrong and be prepared when they do. Because sometimes even our best planning and our best visions, and even the things that we see out in our minds, or the things that we imagine are going to happen, the story never plays out the way that we dream. But what does play out is, what kind of person are you when the things that you've planned do not work according to a plan? And now you have to adjust, and now you have to be creative, and now you have to release the power of innovation so that you can live and enjoy the good days, but learn also to accept and expect the bad days, things that happen that way. We painlessly, as possible, deal with the unpredictability of our good and bad days. It's painful. Obviously it is. We're not minimizing that the things that happen on bad days are not good. But somehow, with the right attitude and with the right mindset and with the right faith and with the right understanding, we can accept even the things that happen to us as gifts that help us to see ourselves in a different light. Sometimes if it was not for the bad days, these are gifts to us that help us to see ourselves and move ourselves in ways that we never thought were possible. And so because of this, we have to deal with the unpredictability of life, the unpredictability of our choices. We always have a plan. We project an outcome. And yet sometimes in real life, under adrenaline conditions, things don't always work out the way that we want them to. So we have to be better at getting up as well as falling down. We have to be better at adjusting. We have to be better at being able to shift the emphasis and shift the perspective so that we can still achieve our goal. Winners know how to win. Winners find a way to win. Even when the odds are stacked against them, they find a way. And you are a winner. And what we have to learn how to do is to use bad days as a precursor and even as a prerequisite to getting to the next stage of where we have to get to. It's not going to work for us. It is not going to work against us. Rather, it's going to work for us. We cannot control what kind of day we will face, yet face them we must. We cannot control what's going to happen, but we must face them. We must make a decision. We must come to a determination and a decision that we're going to face whatever it is. We say to ourselves at the beginning of any day, I'm going to face whatever it is I have to face, and I'm going to victoriously overcome it because I am prepared to be as good on a good day as I can be good even on a bad day. And so we have to be intentional, and we have to make sure that we understand how that works. Facing indifference is how we learn to cope with and overcome the unexpected twists and turns that living life presents. It's a journey. It's a voyage. It's an adventure. And this is how we can change the language of our perception so that we don't describe things in negative terms, but we describe them with the right perspective. And as opposed to dealing with life or calling things a misfortune or a mishap, how about this is an adventure? How about we did not intend to come this way? How about we did not plan to actually face that? But knowing that we can face it and knowing that we can be deliberate and we can be intentional is going to be part of how we need to live in victory and become the kind of person we are, so that we can live on top and not always be dealing with things that are beneath us. Finding flow is really about understanding what happens to us at any part of our journey and describe it as an adventure. This is a different way we didn't intend to go. We have to almost see ourselves as a global positioning system. We have to take the rerouting and the redirection. We have to take things that we have to accept roots that we did not know. We have to accept that things that we can do things a different way and have different results. And that even though it did not come out the way that we planned, we have to make sure that we sit on top of good days and be triumphant on top of bad days, so that we continue to live life the way that it needs to be lived. Nothing ever prepares us for this change in life's trajectory but understanding and faith. There's nothing that can prepare you for life but going through it. There's nothing that we can do all the educational preparation, all the philosophical preparation. We can do all the conscious preparation. We can do all the cerebral presentation and preparation. But there comes a time where we're just going to have to face the indifference of life and make sure that we can convert it into the kind of energy and synergy that gets the job done. We have to become a converter. We have to consciously look at things that do not appear to be useful and convert them into stones, into stepping stones, and convert them into the next level, to convert them use them as raw material that we can use, that we can extract the good out of the no good, and let our bad days even equal as much progress as we can make on our good days. And so this is what finding flow is all about. We have to flow, whether it's a good day or a bad day. We have to be who we are. We have to be triumphant. Our attitude has got to be positive, and we have to live with victorious thinking. That whatever we're doing, our business plans, our business ideas, our entrepreneurial pursuits, whatever they are, we have to face it and know that indifference is not going to make a difference. Indifference is not going to make a difference. We are able to accept the low times of life and the high times of life, the good days and the bad days, and we work them together to convert and transform them into what makes it useful for us and not what works against us. Because I truly believe that if you can look at your good days and act on your bad days as you act on your good days, then you will find flow again. Thank you for joining me for this episode. I am absolutely honored that you're here, and I challenge you to look at your bad days not as things that befall us or things that don't work for us. It's an adventure, and in an adventure you discover things about the journey, and more importantly, you discover things about yourself that will be useful to you as you climb higher towards your goals and towards your destiny. Join me next time. Join me again on the EMPOWERTALK podcast, and I look forward to seeing you as we begin to use both our good days and our bad days to rise to the next level and be victorious and triumphant in everything that we do, because we know we will find flow again. Join me next time.